Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Get your Gamba going as predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will advance on to the grand finals. Who will make it to the finals? Will it be our Terran? Will it be our Zerg? Who is it going to be? Honestly, oh god, as we are going for a pull first build by SHIN. My eyes are on the Zerg player initially. Is going to be pull first. As we settle into this, SHIN is not the most standard player out there. He's very aggressive, very unorthodox. SHIN does often come up with his own builds, with his own play styles, and interesting. So it's going to be pull first by SHIN. ByuN is going CC first. This is the greediest build you can go for. Very greedy build here by ByuN. We'll see. I believe because it's CC first, I think this actually, he might be fine. I think he might be fine. He would be vulnerable to something like an earlier gas into roach aggression, but there's no gas. It's pool into hatchery. It looks like a gasless opener by SHIN. Lings are moving out, and we'll see if ByuN can hold on to that CC. Again, because it's CC first, I'm pretty sure the CC finishes in time for the Lings. I think it will just barely finish, we'll see. If it was a Rax Expand, when the Lings arrive, they can delay. They could delay the command center, but I'm less certain here with this timing. As Lings are moving out, and yeah, it's going to finish. Yeah, CC is going to finish in time. So the power of the CC first. Overlord will dip in, will confirm that the CC is about to finish, and these Lings won't get much done as a result. Won't get much done here. It is going to be a Marine opener by ByuN as well. Marine first, not Reaper. CC is done, which means it can just lift. And the Lings pull back. Meanwhile, SHIN double gas into Roachborn. This, I'm on board with. Double gas into Roachborn. Again, SHIN, he is a Roach boy, very similar to Dark in that sense. Does often embrace Roach aggression and Roach play. And the reason why this can work really well for SHIN is because ByuN has zero scouting information. ByuN, no SCV scout, no Reaper scout. He went Marine first, so ByuN is very much so in the dark. ByuN is in the dark. Overlord gets forced back. Roach production has begun. And I'm a little bit concerned here as we're getting to our add-ons. It is going to be, of course, a Hellion opener by ByuN, and Hellion's not going to help too much here against these Roaches. There is a tech lab on the way. I believe this should be an add-on swap into Banshee production. Banshees will help, but I believe the Roaches should hit first. I believe they should hit first and before the Banshees do hit the field. So here we go, Roaches, they do skirt around the edge. There's the add-on swap getting into Banshee production. For the time being, there's 2 Hellions. Soon to be 4. 4 Hellions to defend. As Roaches, they do get across. How many Roaches, though? 4. 4 Roaches, 2 Ravagers. Soon to be 3 Ravagers here. And SHIN, how much damage can he get done? Boys being pulled away. ByuN does save his workers. Banshee is halfway done. But the Roach Ravager does get up the ramp. And SCVs are falling. So far, there's going to be 7 SCVs going down. 1 Hellion. Banshee is about to pop. More boys being pulled, and this is becoming too much already. Yeah, brutal losses, brutal damage. Miles, they graze the army. They graze the SCVs. Another Hellion falls. And how many SCVs are going to be left over? How many SCVs went down? 14! 14 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. With that, SHIN takes a worker lead. Back at home, he has Queens. He has Queens, and he should soon have Spores. As ByuN is going for a counterattack. Ooh, SHIN with a miss rally. Rallies drones across the map. He's going to bleed out 1, going to bleed out 2. One of them will barely escape. SHIN getting in position. Spore crawlers are going to be finishing up. And now we can settle down. We can settle down into a longer game state. Another drone falls. Now, SHIN is only on 2 bases, so his economy is quite limited here. He is taking into a lair. The drones are denied. Another 2 drones go. This one Banshee has 7 kills. 7. Crazy. The Banshee's doing well. ByuN gets a 3rd, and yeah, ByuN, he's looking good. He's stabilizing, I should emphasize. He's stabilizing. He's recovering from the earlier damage, from the earlier losses. Working towards Stim, his 3-1-1. Hellions are moving out for a run-by. And I do worry for SHIN. There's potential. SHIN now getting his 3rd. Hellions are spotted. Okay, SHIN is ready. SHIN is ready for this. Now the question becomes, when will SHIN cut worker production? Roach speed is already on the way, and I would not be surprised if SHIN goes up to 3-base saturation, similar to what he did against Geralt, and then just masses up on Roach Ravager and pushes out across the map, off of around 60 workers or so. Hellions, they attempt the run by. 1 Hellion gets in. And we'll get... not really much. Doesn't get a worker. Not yet. We go double EVAs for double upgrades or double EVA chambers. SHIN getting some nice damage done. And for now, we're just droning. We're just going to be saturating. Likewise, ByuN doing the same. Saturating his bases, getting into 1-1. Now getting his 3rd. Still a very tense game state. Now, if this leads into a standard macro game, I do favor ByuN. I would favor ByuN in that kind of game state. SHIN doesn't have as much of a lead to try to make that happen. Get the Banshee. 1 drone. Banshee's the natural, gets up, not quite another worker. Banshee pulls away, and it looks like we are actually taking up. Okay. SHIN, he's not going for an all-in. He's taking his gases, he's droning, getting a 4th, and he's taking towards Infestors and Hive Tech. He's working towards Link Bane. Link speed is on the way. Baneliness as well, and again, this infestation bit should be for Infestors and Fungal Growth. We'll see if he does go for those safety units. Double drop into the main. ByuN is going for the Queens. SHIN pulls away. Workers going down. Gas Geyser as well. Yeah, SHIN was not in position. He's trying to keep up. SHIN, he is skipping Infestors. He is going for a faster Hive. Bold move. We'll see if we can get away with it. As again, I will say that ByuN is ahead here. ByuN has a better economy. He's even on workers plus mules, so ByuN, he has a better economic game state. Likewise, he has a more efficient army as well. Roach Ravager does not scale well into a longer game. That is why SHIN is trying to work towards Ling Bane, but Baneling speed just started. And he's still stuck on going to be 0-1 upgrades for his Ling Bane. Double drop into the 3rd, and SHIN is just getting pulled apart here. There's no anti-air. ByuN, he can just freely pick up, land, and just keep going, keep rotating. Double drop towards the left. Gets an Overseer and all these Lings. Again, ByuN just trading very efficiently. And SHIN has to either hope for mistakes from his opponent or try to catch him off guard. Oh my god, there's going to be another 2 more drone kills. Queens are trying to keep up. Vipers are on the way. I mean, that is the one thing going for SHIN. Because he decides to rush into the Hive, he will have Vipers available, and they can be very effective against a tank-based army. True. So the Vipers have potential. Likewise, they can also parasitic bomb these medevacs. But looks like ByuN is now moving out. ByuN is pushing, and this will not be an easy hold for SHIN. a Marine. Vipers have arrived. Oh no! Shin, bit of miscontrol. Ravagers go down. Does move a little bit too far forward. And again, Shin is just not ready for this. Not yet. Vipers are gathering energy as we speak. And with the help of Vipers, Shin could take a fight. ByuN is already pre-split, pre-spread. Spots the Vipers. They're coming in from the right-hand side. Nice unsiege here out of ByuN. He saves the tanks. Yeah, very nice unsiege. Now Shin will break out. But ByuN doesn't lose too much. He's able to stay. He does lose his tanks, saves his Marines, saves 2 more tanks, gets the hell out of there. Shin holds. Whew. Shin does hold. Again, without those Vipers, it could have been game then and there. Would have been a very rough fight for Shin. ByuN reinforcing, still has those 2 tanks. There's no creep here whatsoever. And ByuN can take the fight. Bailey's, they get some connections. Oof. Shin has to use some blinding clouds on the Byu. On the tanks as well. There's the unsiege. Once again, the tanks get saved. ByuN so quick to unsiege. Saves the tanks, and Shin once again, he needs more time for that energy for those Vipers. He needs time. Now Shin has tanked up the Ultras. Trying to work towards them. They're forced to engage, but there's no saving this space. It's going to be cancelled. ByuN rallying towards the south. Pushing towards the third. The hatchery getting very low. And there's just not enough on the ground. Looks like ByuN has done it. He has broken the back of Shin. He takes down the expansion. At the same time, double drop towards the south is going to be deflected. But Shin is down to 3 expansions, to 3 bases. 3 bases, no macro hatch. GG gets called. Shin, he's just being outscaled, and ByuN will take game number 1. Whew. GG. ByuN will take a lead in the series. Again, just a really rough follow-up there for Shin. Shin, remember, he killed 14 SCVs, which is a good amount of damage, but in the follow-up, I was expecting him to go for some kind of all-in. I was expecting him to go for some kind of all-in, but no, he tried to macro out of it instead, and against that kind of setup from ByuN, he did get outscaled. Now we're getting into game number 2. Yeah, jumping into game 2, and we'll see how Shin does approach this. Also, it was a rough opener considering he went for a pull first, went into those initial lings, and he wasn't able to delay the expansion. ByuN did, in a way, hard counter him, going CC first, being very safe with that. Despite losing all those SCVs, I mean, hey, he's got mules. He was able to recover from there as well. And now we're getting into game 2. We'll see if we can bring us to the ace match, or if it all ends here and now, and if ByuN takes it and makes it to the finals. Here we go, as we are loading into ley lines. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaming Gladiators. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and force that ace match. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. As this time, Shin is going hatch first. Okay, no pull first shenanigans, not this time. Is going for a more standard opener. Likewise, ByuN as well, going Rax first. Going for a Rax expand, not going for the initial CC. We're calming things down. After the chaos that happened in game 1, we're calming things down here in game 2. When it comes to some of the features of ley lines, here the third base is a lot more secure. There is a narrow choke point here, or narrow ramp coming into the third. Likewise, here the fourth base, also there are there are points of elevation that you can take advantage of. So it can be a little bit more difficult to break. And I'm curious to see how SHIN does adapt. I still expect him to play Roach, but not as aggressive as last time. You know, as we can already see, standard opener so far. Are going to be settling in and calming things down. There's that CC on the low ground. And this time, ByuN does open Reaper. If you recall last game, ByuN, he skipped his SCV Scout, he skipped his Reaper as well, just going straight Marine first, was playing very blind and very much so in the dark. This time, we'll be scouting across the map. So again, just a very different dynamic compared to game 1. This Reaper does move out. Meanwhile, SHIN looking to expand, taking his third. On the way, and now the dance has become between the Reaper and the Lings. Won't get the initial Ling. So far, SHIN pulls away. So far, so good. Not losing much of anything. The Queen arrives, and SHIN does deflect. So far, just a standard setup. Behind this, ByuN is going for a third CC before Starport. Very economic build here by ByuN. Very economic. Remember last game, he did go for a 1-1-1 for a faster Banshee instead. So ByuN is being more greedy, and he should get away with it. Again, this map is more conducive to more economic and greedy styles. Likewise, SHIN pulls out of gas, only gets Ling speed. See if he does go for an earlier Baneling Nest or into that Roach Warren. As we are going to be saturating. Tech Lab is on the way. We should be seeing an add-on swap here. Yep, there's the add-on swap into Banshee play. So 3cc Banshee out of ByuN. I mean, the most stock standard opener you can go for in Terran vs. Zerg is the go-to. And from here, ByuN will have Hellions and Banshees to harass, to poke in, to deny creep, to test the bases and to make sure that SHIN is honest, and then expand. SHIN now pulls back into gas. Aliens moving out. They test the waters. So far, SHIN is holding on. He is making a wave of Lings. That should be just to deter any kind of Hellion dive. Nice pick off of the Tumor. Creep Tumor does go down. SHIN is just droning, getting his Spore Crawlers up and running. Lair should soon be on the way, as SHIN is going for a second Gas Geyser and making extra Queens. As we are reaching the 5-minute mark, double Evo Chamber instead. Okay, double Evo Chamber, double upgrades. It looks like SHIN is going for a delayed Lair. Is cutting corners. Okay, double Evo Chamber first into a Baneling Nest, to a much later Lair timing. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they dive into the natural, they dive into the main. Lings are trying to keep up. Oh, massive Hellion shots going off. And ByuN busts into the mineral line. Evo Chamber not in time. And drones are getting roasted. It's going to be 5-6 drone kills already. Yeah, Queens weren't quite able to be in position. The Hellions are going to be cleaned up, but that wasn't too bad damage here from ByuN. I mean, it was, what, 8 Hellions? Yeah, 6 Hellions for 6 drones. Banshee still being active. And ByuN gets out. Does pull away. Now we get the Lair on the way for SHIN. Now basically SHIN, he was cutting corners. He hyperfixates and prioritizes upgrades. Will delay Baneling's speed as a result. So far SHIN is getting away with it. Lings, they do get across the map, but they don't get much done. Banshee's hoping to cancel the 4th. And they will be able to Couple more volleys. Up! Oh, and the fourth base is denied. Can they get a queen? Oh, clutch transfuse. Queens are barely saved. Fourth base being retaken. And from here, we're getting into a longer game state. Fourth CC on the way for ByuN, which is actually lined up with the fourth base of SHIN, which is a better thing for the Terran. SHIN is double expanding, makes sense. He does need to. SHIN needs to catch up. He's still trying to be active. Getting into Lingbane Hydra. Let's go. Banshees, they're back. They want the 4. This time they're not going to get it. ByuN now kicks in with his upgrades. He's got 1-1. He has Stim. Let's push forward, but SHIN is ready for this. Oh! Picks up a Marine. Gets a Marine. Keeps up with the ByuN. So far, SHIN, he is stabilizing, he's keeping up. Both players have been keeping up with each other, economically at least. And yeah, we might just be entering just a longer game state here. Like there's no one's cutting any workers, no one's going for any big timing. SHIN getting another expansion, joining up to 83, and soon maxing out. So like working towards the late game. SHIN maxing out on Lingbane Hydra, Hive soon going to be on the horizon. Working towards lurkers, working towards vipers. Likewise ByuN fortifying himself as well. I mean again, we mentioned how defendable ley lines is, how fortifiable the 3rd and 4th are, so it makes sense that SHIN won't try to go for any earlier aggression. And this is a much easier map to turtle. Oh my god, it's the Banshees. They're gonna be going down, but they do get 7, 8. They get 8 drones. Oh my god. 8 drones do full. Very nice damage. Again, the Banshees, they don't really scale too well into a longer game state, so trading for 8 workers is a solid trade for ByuN. He does move out, clearing up some creep, going for a split push. He's getting as many tumors as he can. It's going to be cleaned up. ByuN rotating around, still being active. SHIN does respond. Oh, he can't quite engage though. Not enough Banelings. Not enough Banelings for SHIN. ByuN is going for the 5th. SHIN setting up a surround. Oh. Yeah, he's getting ready to collapse on this position. There are some nice Widowmine positions here, but we're coming in from behind. Oh. Not with too much, though. Regardless, yeah, we collapse on the army, and ByuN is going to be cleaned up. Stutter steps away. Banelings connect. Same time, ByuN going for another run by another counterattack. We'll find some queens. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 queens going down. Laser cleaned up, getting to the mineral line. This will distract SHIN. And even though ByuN lost all of his tanks and Widowmines, he did at least preserve some of his army. Medivacs did escape. Still has a solid bio count. And ByuN is still keeping up. Ghost Academy is on the way. Meanwhile, lurker upgrades are also in production as well. So ByuN is working towards ghosts, SHIN working towards lurkers. We're getting there. As ByuN is still being active, I mean, hey, there's no creep tumors active whatsoever here on the right-hand side. The creep is lacking for SHIN. It's looking better here towards the north. As SHIN tries to engage, not enough Banelings. Enough splash damage. SHIN has to back off. Just trying to keep up. Lurkers are revealed. And again, ByuN has done such a great job of being aggressive here that he just hasn't really given SHIN any room to breathe, particularly when it comes to creep spread. He's got like 3 active tumors. So ByuN can keep pushing. Oh god. He's a medevac. Catching out these Baileys, they don't finish morphing in. Nice big ghost here by ByuN. Nice Bailings. Night Storm here towards the natural. ByuN does notice. We'll shut it down. Same time, ByuN catching a Lurker as well. And Lurker upgrades are still not done. More Baileys being denied. SHIN is not ready for this. ByuN with a target fire, he gets every single Lurker. Who needs ghosts? Oh my god. Who does need ghosts as the Lurkers go down? The Baileys are getting pounced upon as well. Trading against Marauders. There's some brutal trades for SHIN. SHIN does not have a bank. His Lurker count was almost reset. Baileys as well. And SHIN, instead of going for a Desperation counterattack, he does find some reinforcements. Storm does finish, distracting ByuN. And SHIN is going for the middle line, but he doesn't get in. He's trying though. Gets the sensor tower. Ooh, mine just going off. SHIN going for the ghost, going for the production. And Baileys, they do get into the middle line. SCVs are going down. Not too many though. 9 SCV kills. Lings, they run into reinforcements, and ByuN, he will take this fight. He shuts down the Lings, shuts down the Nidus. And that was a big loss for SHIN. As I mentioned before, SHIN doesn't really have a bank to work with. SHIN, he plummets in supply, he needs time to rebuild, and ByuN can counterattack. And SHIN is vulnerable. Like, what does he have? SHIN, he has 7 Lurkers in production, 0 Bailings. Oh, good. And the Lurkers are going to be denied. Massive snipes going off. There's 4 Lurkers left. There's 3 Lurkers left. Down to 2, down to 1. And it looks like ByuN has done it. ByuN, he's broken the back of SHIN. I was hoping for an ace match, hoping for a game 3. There's the Nidus in the main, but at this point it might just be too little too late. Lurkers, they do bust in. Lurkers on the production. At the same time though, ByuN, he's maxed. Takes down the final defensive Lurker. Snipes on the Hydras. One more Lurker does morph in. Oh, it just gets sniped instantly. It just gets sniped. The Lurkers are doing a lot across the map though. They're catching out ghosts. But SHIN just has nothing at home to defend. He just doesn't have enough to keep going. He's trickling out a handful of Lings and a handful of Hydras, but it's not going to be enough. And ByuN is snowballing out of control. I mean, the Lurkers, they are still giving SHIN a chance. That's ByuN, he just collapses in. GG gets called. Yeah, SHIN just does not have enough, and ByuN will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played, ByuN. He will take the series, will advance on. My condolences to SHIN here. Again, SHIN, he was just becoming a little bit too, I was going to say a little bit too wasteful when it comes to his Ling Bane counterattacks. But even before that, we saw time and time again, whenever SHIN attempted to morph in any Lurkers, any Banelings, ByuN was always there to deny them. Also, I was giving praise to ByuN earlier about his aggression, about his pressure. Because of that, there was barely any creep on the map, because that SHIN was having a really hard time keeping up with the army movements of ByuN. And he was just taking some very inefficient fights, some inefficient trades. SHIN never amassed a bank. He was up to like 90 drones, by the way. He had a good worker count, but because of the fights he was taking, like, it didn't really matter in the end. He was just losing far too much, far too quickly. GG. GG, well played. ByuN will advance on. And do we have the finals ready for us? We do. Oh my god, you know what? I will tune into the VODs for this one, 100%, because we have some updates. We have some results coming in for the second time today. Estrella takes down Max Pax. Oh my god, for the second time tonight. If you missed out on it, if you didn't watch the KSRC, I mean, even if you did, you wouldn't be aware, but Estrella, he did take down MaxPax earlier this evening in the European Open Cup, and he does it again here in the American Open Cup as well. Very nicely done, very impressive. Estrella with a bit of a win streak over MaxPax. Twice now today. GG, well played. Likewise, MaxPax has been having a bit of a harder time today, not just in these 2 Open Cups, but in TvZ Monday earlier today as well. Trap did also take down MaxPax, so in the PvPs, MaxPax has been struggling a little bit more here, but Astray, he does it again. Now, what I will say is, again, Astray versus MaxPax during the KSRC wasn't casted, unfortunately. It wasn't casted. I did check all the VODs. I was looking for it. Wasn't casted. I do hope you enjoyed this series, though, because this was casted by Dave Testa, and not gonna lie, I do want to check out those VODs. I think the biggest interest for me is that because overcharge is no longer a thing, shield battery overcharge is no longer a thing, period, in the PTR and in the new map pool, that does affect MaxPax's opener. Remember, in PvP, MaxPax has a very unique opener where he goes for a Gate, Cyber, Stargate Expand. Very greedy build, and very often we see players try to punish that by going for all-ins, and MaxPax, he's very well versed at defending against all-ins in the current patch, but in the PTR, without the overcharge, maybe he can't. Maybe his opener is no longer as safe or as viable, and maybe that is why he has been struggling a little bit more here. It's possible. I'm only speculating because I haven't seen the games. I haven't seen them myself, so I don't know if these have been all-ins or if Astray has been doing something different. It's hard to say. It is hard to say. I mean, I can't say because I haven't watched it, but regardless, GG, well played. We have our grand finals. This is going to be a rematch. It's going to be a best of 5 between Estrella and ByuN. Let's go.